Hi, I'm Morgan and welcome back to my channel. And if you're new around here, I talk all about travel, especially budget travel and good food. And today we are going to be talking about Angel's Landing, the hike at Zion National Park. And if travel videos and good food interest you, love for you to subscribe to follow along and adventure with me. Let's dive into talking about Angel's Landing. Recently returned from a road trip with some friends where we started in Nevada and we drove through Utah and then down to Arizona to hike some national parks, and one of those was Zion National Park. And while we were there, we hiked Angel's Landing and we hiked the Narrows, but today I want to talk all about Angel's Landing because it definitely was the most challenging hike I've ever done and the most dangerous. I'm going to talk all about that experience, show you some footage of the hike, and provide some tips along the way. So if you're planning on hiking Angel's Landing, you can hopefully feel equipped and prepared to do that hike. I know we did tons of research before leaving on just the hike in general. I watched so many videos and read so many articles talking about Angel's Landing, which helped tremendously to prepare us, but it still was very challenging. I'll start with an overview of the trail. The trail starts at the Grotto Trailhead and then you hike uphill to Refrigerator Canyon, and after that comes Walter's Wiggles, which is a set of very compact switchbacks. Walter's Wiggles takes you up to the top of Refrigerator Canyon. A few more minutes after that, you'll get to Scout's Outlook, which is a really cool area, plateau where you can sit, have a snack, take a rest. After that is the last 500 feet incline climb of Angel's Landing. The trail itself total is a 1,700-foot incline. This last portion is where the trail gets extremely narrow. There's drop-offs on each side, and there are chains in place to help make that climb. Now that we've talked about an overview of the trail itself, I'm gonna rewind the beginning of our experience. Now, the first thing I will say is you definitely need to physically prepare yourself. 1,700-foot incline is no joke. We come from Florida where there's just, it's flat. So we switched up our workout, specifically our cardio workout, from just like walking and running to using the Stairmaster to help train our legs, and we really hit our legs hard. But if you are in a place where there is elevation change, definitely start hiking some trails that have an incline to prepare your legs. That's what I recommend for if you are planning to hike Angel's Landing. We started our day at 4 a.m. because we wanted to be first in line at Zion National Park. We went in June, so it was peak summertime, and the day prior, whenever we hiked the Narrows, we had gotten to the park around, I think it was 7 or 8 a.m., but there was already 100+ people in line to get into the park. We got up extremely early to get to the park. You do have to take a shuttle around the park. You can drive up and park at the visitor center, but there is a shuttle that will take you to the different trailheads throughout the park. When we were planning our trip, they were still doing the required shuttle passes, so we had to secure those in advance. And they went by the time slots, and we were able to get the tickets for 6 a.m., which is the very first shuttle that the park has. Able to drive into the park and park inside the park, but there was already people in line waiting for the shuttle. Because we had those tickets, we were able to go to the front of the line. They're not doing those passes anymore as they've kind of reopened everything. I recommend, if you are going to hike Angel's Landing, get there as early as possible. Getting there early, not only you don't have to deal with the lines, but also hiking the trail itself. Because of the complexity of that latter portion, there's only one way up and one way down, and it's narrow. So we wanted to limit the amount of people that we were having to navigate that with, because you just have those one set of chains that you're holding on to, and you can only be on one side of them. You're going to have to be reaching around people and navigate descending and ascending while also navigating the people around you, as well as the heat. I think it was like supposed to be 110 degrees that day during the day, so starting early. We had the cover of the low sun for a little bit, and as we were making our descent, it did get hotter. One recommendation that we did see when we were doing our research is that people brought gloves for that chain portion. Now, I had already started climbing. Didn't put my gloves on and I did not want to fumble with anything. So it stayed in my backpack during the ascent, but I did put them on once we got to the top to navigate the way down. You can easily get cuts on your hands from the chains. The chains do get hot and my hands were sweaty, so it definitely helped with grip and navigating, holding the rocks as well. I had a better grip on them, so I do recommend gloves. I didn't necessarily need them on the way up, but I also lucked out and didn't cut my hands or anything. With that too, I recommend wearing pants just because there are parts where you are going to be navigating some rocks and you may have to kind of slide down and move between, so protecting your legs from any exposed brush or any exposed rocks. If you can wear leggings or hiking pants to protect your legs from that, I do recommend. It also goes for like any hike, but bring plenty of water. And if you have a backpack that has a spout on it, 100% bring that, because for that last portion of the trail, you're gonna want your hands to be free. You don't wanna be holding a water bottle. You wanna have both of the hands free to hold the chains, hold the rocks, navigate that well. I'll link the backpack that I got in the description. It was really inexpensive. I found it on Amazon, served me really well throughout the trip. And we took the bladders out of our backpacks and put them in the fridge the night before, because this backpack had an insulated pouch for it, so it kept that water cool for up to, I think it's like 4 hours. I think the mentally preparing yourself is an important aspect of this. I don't have a fear of heights. I have a healthy respect for it, but like that drop off was something else. I understood the risk of it, which is what I was trying to say, so focused. And I think the part that was most like nerve-wracking, or like where I was intensely focused, was the descent, just because there were so many more people on the trail and I was having to navigate around them while trying to focus on holding the chains. And like, I didn't want to let go of the chains because I didn't want to get bumped by someone by accident, or someone slipped and I have nothing to hold on to. So I was just putting my hand on one side of the chain and then there's a person there, putting my hand on the other, and just like making my way down, which, you know, you gotta do what you gotta do, whatever you're comfortable with. So I think it's important to mentally prepare yourself, and if you do have a fear of heights, I recommend watching videos of people climbing Angel's Landing, familiarize yourself with the different portions of the trail. And if you get to the Scouts Outlook and you're already feeling uneasy about it, then you can definitely stop there. It's still a wonderful view, and you don't have to, you know, worry about navigating an intensely narrow portion of the trail. And we did see groups split up, where some of them stayed at Scouts Outlook and the rest made that ascent to the top of Angel's Landing. It's a little area where you can sit and relax, you know, and wait for the group to make that descent. You guys meet up and go from there. I think that's a great option as well if you're already feeling uneasy about the height. Those are just a few of my recommendations if you are planning on hiking Angel's Landing. I would say the most difficult part for me was navigating the descent on that chain portion, just trying to navigate around people and make sure that I was being smart about where I put my hands and not stumble. Overall, it was a really cool experience. It was totally different than any trail I've ever done, and the view is just insane. The pictures won't do justice for how it actually looked. I'm interested to know if you're planning on hiking Angel's Landing, or if you've hiked it. Drop that in the comments. I'd love to hear about your experience, or if you have any questions while you're planning your trip to Zion National Park, I'd love to hear it. So if this was helpful, I'd love for you to hit the like button and subscribe for more videos that I'll be doing about travel.
There's a good bit more.